Hi stars, look it's me, and I don't have all my hair in just a top knot for once. I washed it, and so I split it in two and made a little bun, and then in the back a little loop, and that's how you get this little curly length that makes me look like I'm at a Madonna concert in the 80s. There's even some, these aren't bangs, they're just like the end of my hair, but you know, little wind machine, a little something different for you, but you know, I can't leave this product alone. I broke the package, but it's the Perricone MD Cosmeceuticals No Blush Blush. I don't think you can read that. Let's see if we can unmirror the image. Yes, sir. Video mirroring is off. So now you can read it. But I cracked the top, but I'm committed to using it all up. Right? It's got a sort of, it's not quite salmon. It's a little bit more muted than that. You can layer it on, but using a silicone sponge, it does tap on and it doesn't look like you're drawing like a geometrical shape. It comes on your face the way that, you know how like when your face is flushed, it looks like little kind of pools of blood based on the fact that you've got, you know, dilated blood vessels, right? But just putting on enough, so you can see it, but then also to help us use this product up, but just so you can see what the color is looking like on my skin tone, right? As you know from my last post, I mixed a Fenty Beauty Pro Filter in 120 with an NC40 MAC, is it Studio Fix? Yeah, Studio Fix Fluid in NC40. And I don't think I've been done terrible wrong for a change. But lips are undone and our eyes need a little bit more structure just to pop on camera. We don't look bad, but I wouldn't necessarily call this camera ready because it's, you know, with the lips and eyes like this, it just looks like, almost looks like I'm not wearing makeup. But we know that's a lie because we've been here and at it for a little while. Welcome Dee, welcome Yep, welcome Ari's Safe Space. Stephanie Thomas is here. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, and do all the things. You know, we're just out here doing little makeup, right? We got outside this morning watching a young man bathe himself with disinfecting wipes you might use on your car. He offered me some, very polite, and then he proceeded to dry himself with several brassieres that I'm not sure how he got hold to, but there were all kinds of clothes strewn across the sidewalk, a Cowboys hat, a Manchester United scarf, and then the brassieres. You know, this isn't the first time I've seen him, but he had me curious. Like, are you coming? Are you going? Why are you here? Are you on your way somewhere? You're trying to get tidied up for work? He was friendly, but he seemed like he was maybe on something. So when I saw the people, there's people that come around to help the people who, you know, are spending time outside. I directed them to go find him because, you know, you don't want to necessarily get involved or interact too much yourself, but you definitely want to help, but you don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to get in the middle of, you know, commerce or anything else. Hi, Mr. Osmont. Feel free to like, gift, subscribe, and all the things. Thank you for coming to my live. KA is here. Miss Yummy Baby is here. I got a suspicious hairdo based simply on the fact that I am trying to dry my hair. I split it in two, little mini top knot and then a little loop in the back, you know, letting the breeze blow. But it's time to put some structure on these lips so that I know, you know, Remy Red doesn't want me to look lost out here. We've been rocking with this Coco Iman liner. You can find these online still, Walmart, etc. Very affordable, very effective. Overline, just the middle. Some people say don't even put liner on the rest of the mouth. How about that, Ernie 860, J Leslie? Save your lip liner for just the center of your mouth. But yeah, my Teamster brother was saying that we might get news in a week, overnight, that we'll be all back to work. So, you know, at the end of all this, we don't want to neglect our TikTok. We don't want to feel like we didn't spend enough time getting it in, working on our makeup and hairstyles, serving something different shirt-wise, you know? Making our full lips look even fuller up top. You don't want it to look like a mustache, but you definitely don't want to look like you were shortchanged in the lip department because, you know, everybody in these streets are getting their lips, you know, filled. And, you know, it's like having a regular butt. You might not be able to compete if you don't, you know, take the steps, if you don't educate yourself about how to make your lips look not like you've been drinking chocolate milk, but like you've been, you know, to the surgeon, right? We already contoured above our lips, right? We contoured this little divot above our lips, right? Just to give some fake sense of depth. We contoured our jaw just to sharpen it up, cheekbones, temple, to narrow that face and give it more like little tiny girly dimensions. Chanel Thomas is here. Pretty Reminders is here. James Benson, welcome. You know, I was telling people that I had gotten asked out somewhat on a date by someone on this app. And then, you know, when the days in question came, he just kind of like disappeared. No explanation, no cancellation. I'm not mad to still be alive. I was definitely scratching my head. Like I hear people say, oh, I met this person. I listened to their music on TikTok. And then we met up and it's like, oh, do we do that? Huh. Wow. Risky. Is that this very pale peach shade of this hyaluronic acid lifter gloss from Maybelline. Now we've worn it before, but we put stuff under it. Today I'm kind of itching to let it kind of live on its own, right? We lined our lips, just checking on the lip perimeter. See if we've made it even and neat. Right? Leaving the center of the mouth pale, letting that blush kind of be the star of the show. We did underpaint. We under-contoured and then we over-contoured once our complexion product was on, right? With the curly hair and the earring and the Lakers shirt, we're looking very natural, like we could be headed to the laundromat, right? A naive person might be fooled into thinking that my skin is this even and my bone structure this defined, but we know better. That's the magic of makeup, right? We don't want to do all the things. We don't have to have all the eyeliner and all the lashes to draw too much attention. Oh, let's not put this on my mouth. Put it on the back of my fingernail just so that I'm not getting liner color into this glorious product, right? I see people go right in with the doe foot and then it's like, if you've got color on your lips, you're going to get that into your product. This is the shade Peach Ring, right? Like those little chewy candies that come in a package that I don't buy. But as a person with, ooh, that's nice, yellow, golden undertones, right? I do find that rather than the blue-based pinks, anything coral, peach cancels out to pink on my skin. Right? If we did make it to that date, we would look kissable, lips feel moist, Carrie Gilliam nose, right? In the desert, it's so essential. So you have the definition on the edge, you have that paleness in the center, and then you just use your gloss just to add a little bit of come hither moisture. It marries nicely with that Perricone blush. Peach Rain. Look out for it. You can't always find all the different colors in store. Anything excess we can put on our cheeks. But we do have this Jaclyn Hill highlighter that we can try, right? Jaclyn Hill Skylight Putty Highlighter in the shade, I guess Skylight. It's sort of a pale amber. Should we use our finger or should we use the other end of our silicone sponge that's sadly ripping? I'm going to have to find some of these. And when I do, ooh, look at that. I might put them in the store. But it's very nice. I mean, people critique her behavior, lying and saying, I just came out and said it. She lied. She's not the owner and CEO. She did a licensing deal, which is no disrespect, but it's not what you told people. And now that it's kind of over and she's shutting her brands down, it doesn't make the makeup, it's affordable. And for being affordable and available at the stores where I tend to go, right? In this neighborhood, you can easily get to the Marshalls, the TJ Maxx, right? And get some subtle dimension on those cheeks without, and it blends out nicely so you don't get that. I feel like some of my friends that play cop with me oftentimes are in this place where they have this very clockable stripe of highlighter that doesn't necessarily blend into the rest of their makeup, right? So it is a putty, not a gel, not a powder, but being a putty and on a silicone sponge, right? Let's try to get it onto our nose bridge and the tip of our nose. I like these stray pieces of hair. It looks a little bit, I don't know, more casual, like I'm at the club. But you know I'm not. Nose bridge, right? A little bit on the tip of the nose. I've learned not to make too much of a dot on the tip of the nose because it's going to look big, right? But just learning how little, what kind of blend, how much dimension you can add to your weak chin. Ahmed Musa is here. Ahmed, feel free to like, share, gift, subscribe. I'm in the market for gifts. If you are excited to see me do my makeup, then I welcome you to participate in those ways that TikTok has made so available for us. You know, to show our support for our favorite creators. If you agree with this makeup look and this suspicious hairstyle, I don't know why I'm acting like I'm walking, but I'm not. Feel free, you know. I like this product. I know we're supposed to feel bad about Jaclyn Hill, but I'm not mad at this. I think it would travel well. Maybe we can get a little on our brow bone. We did not do any eyeshadow yet. This looks, I mean, for my complexion and just getting a sort of highlight and glow, right? So you got this sort of beam of light going across the eye area, right? Beam of light augmenting our weak chin, right? One of the neighbors went surfing and I got so excited. I was like, wait, you went surfing? Like, I never saw him with a surfboard. I don't know if he went to take lessons, but I was like, that is an activity that I would go. You know, I don't want to get in Pool Party Princess's stale old chlorine pool with the voyeurs, but you going to drive to the beach? I think he said he went to not Malibu, not Ventura, Topanga. I have to look up that and see what Topanga is like, because I feel like that's one of those beaches where the locals will beat you up or something. And I don't know if I'm in shape for all of that, but, you know, I'd have to do something not only to my hair, but to keep the sharks and whatnot from nibbling on me. Carrie Gilliam, what's up? Chadana Benoit. Are you from France? Tonya has joined us. I can't tell what flag that is. What flag is that? It seems exciting. Liz Hernandez, Didi, BJ Katz, user 4449, Fortuna Laurel, Mercedes Orozco, awesome. Nana and Kennedy, Rose Raven, TikToker is here. What does that mean? John Stovall, Ray Ray. We're just doing a little afternoon makeup, right? The sun is up for a change. We have our fake sunlight lamp. I'm giving you production value, right? We're trying to raise some, what is it called? Tattoo money. So if you want to send a gift, a bigger gift will help support me adorning these bare arms with tattoos, right? You can't go and put tattoos on your face or people will think that you did things. And that might not be what you're trying to, you might not be trying to convey that message, because that can be a dangerous message to tell people in LA. LA is more like you're going to run into people who are legitimately in gangs, whether that's, you know, in law enforcement or at your job. Like, you know, there's different things that people do to initiate themselves into these gangs, right? To say that they're down and they're going to, you know, fight to the death or to the finish for whatever the cause is. And, you know, you want to be aware of what you're dealing with and who you're dealing with. It's not all rainbows and, you know, sunshine. There's a certain amount of, like, I was talking to my Teamster friend about it. There's a certain amount of, like, sorry, I dropped something on the floor. I'm trying to get it with my feet. Don't judge me. I'm trying to stay in frame. You know, there's a certain amount of, like, competition and risk that people will, you know, step to you in a not a friendly way, possibly do you harm, definitely harm your vehicle, definitely try to harm your reputation. And it's par for the course. It means that you're onto something good, right? I see all kinds of people on this app talking about people coming to their page and just wilding out, like telling them all sorts of things that aren't necessarily true, right? Telling them, challenging their ideas and then reporting them, right, to the powers that be. That's not very nice. Joyce Collier knows. Cabry knows. This is Meg 2 knows. So does Maria Benford. Clifford Morgan Sr. Everyone knows. It's not cool to lie. I just think I've never like gotten that much attention from anyone on this app. This is one of my little To Me travel kits. This is when I had the idea, like, oh, I'm going to put together a kit so I can do makeup on the go, right? So these are, like, if I've used this once, you know, but, you know, I have it. Just trying to give all of my makeup exercise. This is Wet n Wild Color Icon. Everything is a shimmer. This is for when, oh, and look at the little sad, it has one of those little foam brushes, and then it has like a brush, but everything is shimmery. This is when it's like an emergency and you don't have any makeup. You're like, oh, I think I have something in the bottom of my bag. But then we have this Pacifica Tiger's Eye palette. It's such a strange thing. There is nothing to cover the eyeshadow itself, right? There should be a piece of plastic or a little window, but there isn't, right? It has ostensibly a cover, but there's nothing here. Is that by design? But it doesn't have the worst colors in the world. Let's rock with it, right? I could combine these two palettes, but, you know, let's see. Sandstone. It's very cute packaging. It just needs a little cover. It does say inside, "You are so pretty," in French and English. This is the color Sandstone, but there's no mirror. They're just, you know, they're like, F you, figure it out. Thanks, Pacifica. But we can stamp this on across the eye area. We know we mapped out our shape with our contour, our very warm contour from our friends at NYX, sorry. Clifford Morgan Sr. Nima 2022. Hi, Nima. Am I opening a beauty box? No. This is just stuff that I have. I wish I were, bawling to get like all those subscription boxes. I have a neighbor who I think gets some kind of beauty subscription from Etsy because she's always putting the like little makeup bags into the haul. And then I take them and I make little travel kits or put like different things in them. My attempt to organize for cheap. But, I don't know if what comes in those boxes are the things that I'm interested in getting, right? I watch a lot here on TikTok and on other apps. And the things that I'm interested in, right? It's the things I can't get my hands on. The super expensive things from Danessa Myricks is always across my Instagram. She has a fun personality. I want to support her brand. Our industry is on strike. I shouldn't spend money that way. And I don't, I just, you have to just watch and imagine, right? And it's interesting when you see people do tutorials with no filter because you're like, oh, that really doesn't, people will like be like, and this product perfects my face. And without a filter on, it doesn't look perfected. It looks like, is that worth $60? Right? But that's the thing. We get fooled by a lot of people who do makeup with filters on. I certainly get fooled into thinking that, oh, well, your face is going to look that perfect. It's the difference between the raw photos from Getty Images of celebrities and the photoshopped ones. Because the photoshopped ones, they look amazing. But the real ones, they look like they've got a whole cake of makeup on their face. And it's we all ride that line between, oh, are we going to look good or are we going to look made up? Right? We can work our technique to the point where we feel like we can respect what we're trying to do on our faces, but it doesn't mean that other people aren't going to come along and, especially things are rough out here in these streets. It doesn't mean that people aren't going to clown us for wearing makeup. Some people say, remember Alicia Keys was saying that people don't need to wear makeup? And it's like, you don't need to wear makeup all the time. Roslyn is here, Foreign Diamonds. Gloria has joined us. Awesome. Chavakia Realtor MUE. What is MUE? Makeup expert? No. But I wish I had a beauty box. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I'm like a lot of people. You get a lot of reach outs from brands often that you haven't heard of before. People want to basically do gifted collabs. They want to send you wigs. They want to send you apparel. They want to send you sunglasses and then offer you free shipping or low shipping on items that you would have to pay for. And they also want to then offer you, a discount code and that people could buy the product. And then if they do, that you get some sort of percentage. For me, it seems complicated. It doesn't necessarily seem like, it's a struggle enough for me to find time and the focus to actually come on, go live, do some sort of, just to find a shirt, put on an earring, and then do some kind of makeup that's sort of the level where I am. I aspire to be one of those people who can get it all the way together and, get to the point of going through beauty boxes and sponsorships and living up to the obligations of the sponsorship. There's all kinds of people who are asking, for you to sign up for their management and this and that. And it's like, I don't know if I'm there yet. I don't know if I've done enough. I just don't know enough about it. And, I'm certainly curious and I'm certainly exploring all of the beauty items I get my hands on and just trying to have an understanding and an opinion about them. But, Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, but what are you doing on your lives, right? At the very least, you can just take a category of product. Like the name of my live is basically, one item that I knew I was going to use on my face. And here I am talking, doing more eyeshadow, right? Because we have to post, right? And you see different people post about like current events or whatever. There's the people that do sugar daddy dating. And then there's the people that do the TikTok live dating show and whatever sabaduria. Like I see their lives. There's some lives that I had to ask never to see again. The person that smears himself, he's like a kind of man of size, and he smears like food all over his body by request. And that is nothing I don't want to see that. That distresses me. It just, there's a whole side of TikTok that I'm not on that's about women wearing yoga pants. It's disturbing. But I am curious, I have to confess, about these popcorn people, right? And I just out of the idea, like if this is something that you can do and, earn income from, then I'm curious about doing it. But I do recognize, I've heard a lot of creators talk about that it's fetish driven. It's not just like, it's not just, somebody naturally being like, oh, I want to talk like this and dress like this and do this. It's a little bit more purposeful than that. I'm just going through this palette and progressively going deeper in color. I find that if I can use a deep color to disguise the heaviest part of the hood of my lid, and also have like a bright brow bone, that lends drama without me necessarily having to get into a lot of dark colors. I get nervous. I see certain makeup gurus put black all over their lid and then they cut the crease and they add lighter colors. There's nothing about my face that makes me want to draw a whole big circle of black on my lids and then work back from there. Maybe I'll get there one day, but I feel like a little bit of shape, a little bit of, whether it's neutral or a little bit of color, depending on the day and the palette, that's good enough for me. I don't need to, unless I'm going out, I don't necessarily need to cut the crease and do lashes and all of the things. Maybe one day, but for now, let's try to add a little bit of shimmer with this little cat's paw of a brush. And this palette does have a couple. It has goldstone and smoky quartz. Let's see what quartz looks like on one side. All right, just in the inner part of the lid. I used to put shimmer all over the inner part of the eye, but I feel like it starts looking real Las Vegas showgirls real quick. We don't necessarily need to do all that. We just want a little bit of brightness around that inner eye, that inner corner, right? Paying homage to Douyin makeup. And they do a kind of ring of sparkle around, feels like most of the eye, certainly the inner third of the eye. And it's enough to kind of elevate your eye makeup and bring more light into that area. Miranda Cherie has joined. Violetta Padron is here. But yeah, do try to just put your collection of makeup into circulation. If it's not quite right, you can explore how it's not quite right on camera. And then you're providing value by like testing that makeup out, right? Like for the people tuning in to see you, sometimes people, I find sometimes people don't necessarily want to go live about something. And so it's hard to necessarily feel like, oh, I want to watch that person for their whole life. I know people who go live all the time. I never know what they're talking about because there's no title, there's no plan. They're just kind of, so this is the eye with shimmer and this one's without, and I'm going to shimmerify it. But this isn't a bad palette. Like, I feel like better about this one because it has mattes and shimmers. It's not just an all shimmer palette, whereas, you know, I think it would have to be like nighttime for me to want to put all shimmers on my eyes because it would make me look showgirly, which isn't necessarily the look I'm going for on a regular basis, right? If you have to play law enforcement, if you have to play a lawyer, you can't be doing all that super pretty, super femme stuff. I'm amazed at how beautiful they make some of our law enforcement actresses look, just with subtle contour, subtle blush, some emphasis on the eye, and then lipstick that almost looks like their real lip color. And it's very, very well done. Sometimes we can't work right now. So I'm also a writer, but you know, when you're in Hollywood, you have to take the coins how they come. I was a casino dealer and I was in talks to be a professional, like, driver, like a chauffeur, but the strike kind of dried all of that work up. I was thinking about taking a professional driving class, like a stunt driving class, but I didn't do it. I didn't want to outlay the cash and have it be like, why am I doing this if we're not going to work for another half a year, which is possible. Sad feelings. That's what's led me to spend time on TikTok. Between Dainty Danny is here, between applying for different jobs. It's, you know, it's kind of interesting, but it's also kind of funny. Like, my friend was like, look, don't go too far because this could all, you know, wrap up shortly and then the strike would be over. And then, you know, you might end up taking a job that you don't want or you don't like or something like that, right? We're already invested in our union and our pensions and all of that. But at the same time, you do want to explore other angles of the industry. This is very nice. I'm using the deepest shade, which is Incense, right? To try to create like a subtle eye line. We could also go in and add a gel or a pencil liner, but this might be enough. And it's funny because this isn't the tiniest brush, but you see that lifted angle of the shadow, right? I've left a gap so then the liner is not on top of that lifted shadow, and we could also blend it or we could just let it rock. It almost seems like a shadow that would be cast from your lashes if a light was going up towards your eyes. Alchemy of Beauty by NCE LLC has joined. Trax has joined. Oh, thanks. You know, listen, I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm saying I like to play with makeup, right? And I like to play before I have to actually, you know, be on camera looking a particular way. Because sometimes, especially during these times, you didn't necessarily want people that close to you doing your makeup because they'll be close to other people and then you'll get a, right? You don't want that. But if you spent the time and the money collecting some makeup, you do want to kind of be good at it, right? You see when your makeup gets out of control and it doesn't look the way you wanted it to look, or it wears off, or, you know, runs down your face. You see how many days it takes you to get certain products off your face, right? Like, don't use a pink eyeshadow and think your face is going to be clean the next day, right? If you use any of those pressed pigment pinks, it's going to be in your skin and looking suspicious for at least a couple of days, at least, unless you go swimming in the ocean or you get into the sauna or get really, really sweaty. You're going to be not loving life. But, you know, it's on that rare occasion, the pressed pigment is beautiful, but it might play you. You might be like, oh my God, why won't it come off? And you don't want to get like abusive with your skin. But this is actually a quite nice palette. It does come in some other colorways. I think there's like a purple one, and Pacifica seems to have like a color story. It seems like hippie makeup. Am I wrong? Feels like it was or is sold in like Whole Foods. It gives you that vibe. I do have one of their Pacifica, a light clean foundation products, and it's fine. It's just too pale, right? So like today I mixed Fenty Beauty Pro Filter in the shade 120 with the NC40 MAC, and it doesn't look crazy, right? Mixed them together. I didn't know what I was going to get, but I knew I didn't want one that would be too pale or the other that would be too dark. So we did what we had to do, right? Just like my neighbor says. We did what we had to do. Got some kind of credible eyeshadow look on, right? We used our ultra cheap. This is the winner right here, LA Colors Natural. I have other shades of this, beige, whatever. But natural travels with me because it does not crease on you. It does not look crazy. It doesn't, it's not going to let you down in the field. You're not going to be like, oh my God, looks so terrible, right? Just taking a little bit of this Essence shade under the eye. I see what people talk about on here. They're like giving you the whole speech. They're a professional makeup artist, blah, blah, blah. And then everybody's wanting you to tight line upstairs, put white in the eye on the bottom. Can I tell you how insane that looks, especially in real life? I have yet to see one person on a professional set who has that crazy line of white or nude on the inner corner. I've done it and it always looks insane, right? But learning how to shade your face and blush it and gloss your lips and give you a little bit more definition, right? Sorry, I can't think because this is mirrored. But just give you a little bit of structure here, right? Under the cheekbone, but also here. That gives you a little bit more than you had before, right? And if you can bring your hair into the game, right? Bring a gloss into the game. If you're going to go on a date, right? Take a little bit of liner, give yourself an inner corner flick, a little shimmer, just on the inside part of the eye. But that subtle, Jaclyn Hill, yes, she's her name is Mud, but we have the products. But the thing you're trying to do is make your eyes look bigger and more dramatic, right? Extend the eye inside and out, right? Try to make your eyeliner symmetrical. Do what you can, but just steal a little bit more territory for your eyes. And then take a little bit more territory for your lips, and then give your bone structure and your weak chin a little bit more, right? Highlight, contour, even out your skin tone. Do you need to go in with a little bit more blush? But, just gathering tools that can help you work more efficiently. I might have to go back. Ooh, I'm trying to lift it up and I'm dropping it, and get another one of these silicone brush holders, because, I can see my brushes. I can see what the heads look like. I can grab them real quick. I can, think about why this packaging does not protect the shadows. So I got to put it back in the box. I could also turn the palette itself over to prevent it from getting damaged and oxidized. But, I might try another one of these palettes. I have seen one that's purple. But, when I started my makeup journey, you couldn't have told me that there was makeup that wasn't that wasn't Wet n Wild, what you got in high school where everything is a shimmer. Beige, gray, and black shimmer. Wow. It doesn't give you what this does, because what you're doing is you're playing with the shape of your lids. You are emphasizing, the darker area of your eyes on the inside, right? You're thinking about our friends in Asia and what they do with their shadow, which is definitely not going crazy dark, right? We used a really natural gloss, highly recommend, right? Lifter Gloss from Maybelline in Peach Ring, love it. You know, but just go in with affordable products. Try to use up your Dr. Perricone MD No Blush Blush, right? Get it in your dish. Keep applying layers of it so that you can see it on your viewfinder, right? It's not that you look different. You just look more enhanced. You used makeup to kind of sharpen up and enhance your features, right? You've added an earring, a colorful shirt. Imagine if I had nails on, then I would probably be doing a lot of this on screen, but I'm struggling so bad to grow my nails out, and I'm not sure that I can apply nails and not have to pop them off for work. I have ambitions to do all those things. I'm just not there yet. Blush wise, you know, we collect things, right? So like you, my friend, I have makeup that's collected, right? We went on with a cream blush. We could go into this Pat McGrath Bridgerton Divine Blush and Glow Trio palette. We already have some glow on, and just use an angled brush to get on probably this kind of pinky salmon shade and see what's what. Why not, right? The eyes are shadowed and lifted. A lifted angle that reaches out toward the tail end of the brow. Should we put product in our brow? But again, not going crazy low with our eyeshadow. Not wanting it to be all down here and kind of dragging into our temple, but lifting it toward the tail end of the brow, a bright brow bone, and really just creating drama along that crease so that when you emphasize things, right, it gives you a little bit more expression. That's all I'm suggesting. Now we can get into this blush brush. Olagun PhD is here. Thank you for joining me. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, gift, all the things. You know, we're just doing a little makeup, right? We managed to have breakfast. We had an egg, a salad, some chunk light tuna, a half a piece of bacon, some sourdough bread toasted in a cast iron pan with butter, of course. We did not have goat cheese. We might go into a goat cheese kind of soup moment later. But, you know, I think this is a very innocent way to do your lips. Just line in brown and add a peach gloss so that you're enhanced, but it's not color. It's not just putting on a lot of opaque business. You're kind of respecting your skin and the color of your lips, but you're enhancing, right? Now here, carefully, we can tap on some powder blush from our friend Pat McGrath and look at it and see if we are having the blush do what we want it to, right? Check your face. Get into the other side. So this is without and this is with. Take it across the nose as if we've been out in the sun. A lifted angle, more lifted, right? If you observe your favorite celebrities, more lifted, more of a this than a straight across, right? And that's a subtlety I've only recently learned, so that when you turn your head, that you're getting payoff, right? This very high point on your cheek, kind of verging on your under eye area. Right? High point on the cheek, verging on the under eye, taking it across the nose. You're seeing people apply their blush in a M or a W shape all the way across. They're underpainting and then they're going over it. But we know we already added highlighter. You back up and you see that highlighter popping on them cheeks, right? Take it into places where we have contoured our forehead. think about blending it so that it's not just an island of color. You don't want it all over your face, but you do want the colors to show. You want it to look like you've put on makeup. And then you can think about adding a kind of once over with a kabuki brush to make sure that you've achieved the blend that you prefer. But just having a strong neutral moment that plays in texture from matte to shimmer on the eyes and gives you a very pale, strongly shimmery, it's actually highlighter on the brow bone, right? That play of texture and color, that not everything is all filled in and all the same color, right? That you've got a different eyeshadow color than you have blush color, than you have lip color, but you're not overwhelming a daytime face by having every color the same opacity, every color the same texture, right? That your makeup can become muddy, especially on your eyes, if you just blend all the textures together, right? It's a different shimmer on the inner corner of the eye than it is on the brow bone and above the arch of the brow. But now we can take our well-abused Essential Beauty Kabuki brush and just think about the edges of our blush on our forehead, on our cheeks, just to get rid of any harsh lines, right? We like the precision of where we apply the product, but we want it to kind of be a little bit confusing, right? So you're really blending at the edges. A little bit, you want to confuse the eye about where the color begins and ends. You want it to be seamless. You want to suggest that, oh, this actually could be native to my face, not just a powder that I purchased and applied with a brush. You want to fool people into thinking that, you know, whether it's clean girl makeup or whatever, that this is close to what you look like naturally, when it's not true. But especially when you're in control of your cosmetics, you don't necessarily want it to be graphic eyeliner, strong, harsh, unblended lip liner, you know, streaks of blush and stripes of highlighter that look, it can just look harsh and it can look artificial, right? You want to enhance your face. You want the angles of your face to be there, but you don't want to be that person that just looks fake. I don't. I mean, there's definitely room for all different people to have all different aesthetics, but you can also, you know, rely on your brushes and take a look. Is there too strong of a line? You want to blend it in. Kippy Kachi author is here. What a cute name. Pam Shin is here. Vet Lady, Desi, and Nima 2022. Thank you for liking the live. We can take this Real Techniques brush and just very carefully blend the edges of, it's not the deepest shade in the world, but it is our deepest eyeshadow shade. And just giving the edges of this a blend so it doesn't look so, you know, it doesn't look like something laid down by a typewriter, right? You look at drag makeup, and I certainly watch those tutorials, and I see people laying down these crisp shapes and geometry and then putting gems on top of it. For daytime makeup, that's not my jam. You know, I tend to play like, what do you call it? Like businesswomen or lawyers or, you know, law enforcement. So even if you're law enforcement out to dinner with her boyfriend, you're not going to have drag makeup on. As much as people love to push those palettes and those color stories, it's just not, you know, it's not realistic to be a regular, you know, person with a job and a man out to dinner where the star of the show is all this makeup, all this, you know, it's too much and it overwhelms your face, right? I've been getting back into a spoolie and soap and doing soap brows. And it's amazing to me that this very simple product, you know, I was rocking with the got to be, and then Gorilla Glue and all of that. And I kind of got to the point where I felt like I end up with a lot of texture on my brows and on my face. It catches light in a strange way that I don't necessarily want. I just want the groom. It's like brushing your hair. You just want it to look groomed. You don't want it to be plastered and stuck to your face. You do want it lifted. But, you know, soap brows are very, 2016? That you can, you know, get an affordable, simple product onto your face and lift and structure your brows and just look natural, like you've gone for a run, or you've gone to the park, or you went to walk the dog. But by using, you know, technique and a plan for the color, for the shape and all of that, you know, you look ready to go. Going about your business, running errands, you know, asking, you know, teams of nonprofit people to help the street people outside, right? My Teamster friend was praising me for being sympathetic, but lectured me to not, you know, get too involved, not be one of those people who invites people into their home or something like that. I'm like, oh, no, you don't have to worry about me. You know, living in Hollywood, you definitely get to the point where you learn you just can't have, and I was explaining to him, you can't just have people over to your house all the time, right? Even Pool Party Princess was on this thing where she just kept insisting that we FaceTime. And I'm like, why? If you want to see the setup, just watch my channel. Like, why do you need to be on a FaceTime with me? Like, if I'm at home and it's warm, I don't necessarily have a shirt on. Like, I'm not trying to get on camera, right? We get paid to get on camera. We don't do that with our friends. Like, for what? To this day, I really couldn't tell you, and I have to assume it was something nefarious. Like, for what? Why do you want to do that? Why, what? It's not good enough the way it is? You want to see more? You know? You don't want to take me to dinner, but you want to ask me 1,000 questions about my SMEGS practices, and then you want to just adding some more of this pretty gloss. It's funny. It's enough color, right? You don't have to go into, you know, crazy land in order to get a flattering, comfortable, pretty gloss color that sets off that brown liner, right? And just use the end of your liner component just to press and make that line gradient. So it just gives you more of an edge to your lip, but it doesn't look like you're in a, you know, comic strip. This is gloriously shiny. If you have any excess, you can definitely add it to your cheeks and, you know, just use up all of your products, right? And, you know, just feel like I have put color and shape on my face. I've lifted my brows, and, you know, you can certainly travel with your spoolie and revisit your brows or revisit your lip gloss, but it doesn't have to be, you know, as harsh as a brow lamination. And if you don't like this lifted shape, you can, you know, comb them over to the side. But I think this looks very exciting. And again, it lifts the face. It sets off that pale, glowy brow arch, right? We do a lot of work to get our brow arch arched and clean, right? I see people who use those little face shaver things to do their brows. I've definitely had people creep up on me and trim my brows without saying anything to me in the makeup chair. And I'm like, what are you doing? Right? They brush them up and clip them like, I mean, they're long, but they're not that long, right? People pay good money to draw on brows. Why are you cutting them, ma'am or sir? But, you know, that's how it can be super important just to be able to take control of your own aesthetics and your own makeup, even your, you know, crazy hairstyle, hopefully letting my hair dry. and putting emphasis around your eyes. Like for me, I'm fine leaving my waterline alone, top and bottom, right? There are people who want to tell you, you got to get under there and draw a line. Why? You can't even see it, right? Putting a thin line of a darker shade above my lashes, that's what you're going to see. I don't need to dig around in my eye socket. And someone was saying something about it can be not so good for you, right? We play with all these cosmetics and we wash them off at the end of the day, but just spending some time experimenting with texture, seeing what kind of glow you like. Do you like the chunky glitter highlighter? Do you like something that's more subtle? I think that this Jaclyn Hill putty highlighter texture, it looks very natural, both in the monitor and in the mirror. I'm not displeased, but it brings a lot of light and play of light around the eye and a little bit of subtle color, right? If you were a high school or college student, you could wear this kind of makeup and I don't think anyone would question, that you don't want your makeup to overwhelm your purpose, right? If you are at school to learn, if you're, on a procedural playing a whatever, FBI agent, you don't want to do anything to your face that's going to compromise your credibility. And you don't want to look ugly. So there's a lot of space to play in there. But, certainly those characters go on dates and, you just want to think about your aesthetics. Think about what you can demonstrate for the hair and makeup team before, they decide that they're going to, put you in the same, unflattering hairdo. It certainly happened to all of us. Sometimes you're amazed and it's great. Sometimes you're like, oh my God, they pay you to do this? It's a mixed bag. But if you can bring the heat and the fire and experiment with eyeshadow placement in a way that excites you and gives you something different, then I think it's a worthwhile exploration, especially to do it on camera and talk about the products you have, the products that you want to test, the ones that are your ride or die, the product that you should have given away many years ago, but you still have it. This eyeshadow palette from Wet n Wild, which I think it is all shimmers as well, but I didn't know any better, but I still have it. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Nathan the Sailor. Oh, you're going? Oh, okay. Oh, thanks, Nathan. I saw your posts yesterday. You're going to have to get on and read from your book for us. But yeah, I didn't realize, those people involved in that Birmingham, Montgomery, Alabama incident, the people that ran the ferry, I think are merchant marines. It's an angle for you, sir. But yeah, I see all your glamorous posts where you have your wind machine going. So it helped inspire me today. Just adds drama for the hair to be like, oh, so much wind. But yeah, thank you for joining me. And I will be back again soon. And it might be time for me to have a snack and check to see whether my hair is dry. But yes, thank you so much for joining me. A little makeup, a little, facial definition. And I will see you again next time here at House of Tanya. And stay safe and, give your makeup a little whirl on camera. Let us see what it can do. And if it's not for you, just put it outside for the others. One of my neighbors put a 2-liter bottle of Coca-Cola outside, and I'm suspicious. I don't want to drink it, but I have seen people clean their toilets with it. So I might get busy with that. Apparently you can clean a battery. Interesting, right? I'll see you next time. Bye.